Hey, what's up, guys? This is CJ, and welcome to another exciting episode of the HOGside. Here we just give different week to week recaps of the previous week. Today we'll be talking about the week 5 recap and how everything went. Alex Smith first time back in the game after 2 years since his injury. Cal Allen, the new quarterback, starting quarterback moving forward, and the good and the bad for week 5. We also have Hog Stars. I have some other exciting big news for you guys. Well, not big news, but just notes from another analyst of mine. He won't be in tonight, but he gave me some notes to share with you guys based on what he's seen in the game. So again, we're gonna get started and see you soon. What's up, guys? Again, welcome back. I hope you guys like the intro. I've been working on it all summer, and now you guys got to see it. Hope you guys liked it. So we're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. Weekly updates. Weekly updates. Of course, we got to go through the injuries. Not too many as it was last week and the week previously, but here are the injuries so far this week. We have Kyle Allen. He's questionable after the big hit that he suffered in week 5, which caused Alex Smith to come in and finish the game out. His arm, he was listed as questionable, but it looks like that he is cleared to practice today. Not sure whether if it was limited or not, but more details are to come soon. Cole Holcomb, he's still listed as questionable. Not sure exactly what was the status of his practice today. Again, more details is coming to you soon. Greg Stroman, Marcus Baugh, Dwayne Haskins are also listed as questionable. Dwayne Haskins missed the Week 5 game due to an illness. He stayed at his hotel and reviewed game film from the sources that I've gotten from Redskins officials. All right, so these are the weekly updates so far. Nothing real big that has came. Ron Rivera pretty much is sticking to his guns as far as sticking with Kyle Allen, from here on out until there's any other changes. So the question is, where is Ron Rivera right now as far as Kyle Allen? We're not there's fans who do have doubts. There are fans who feel as though Dwayne Haskins is the rightful starter, always will be the rightful starter. But Ron Rivera seems to be right now sticking to his guns with Kyle Allen, regardless of the fact of how Alex Smith looked last week. He just want Alex Smith to, focus on, getting healthy, not worry about starting at the moment. But it looks like, from now until the next couple of weeks, it looks like that Alex Smith will be the starter at some point, in the season. But right now, Ron Rivera is sticking with Kyle Allen. So, which leads me to my next topic, Kyle Allen moving forward. Kyle Allen, he showed a little glimpse, of light inside of week 5 during his time inside of the game. before his injury. Didn't really understand why he made the move that he made when he got injured. You know, everybody can't be, like a Jay Cutler who has that big body. And I get it that he was trying to keep the drive progressing, but you can't risk yourself at that time. Where we don't have any other quarterbacks right now. So Alex Smith was forced to come in. I don't think Alex Smith really expected to be put in the game, as early as he did, in week 5. I'm pretty sure that every backup quarterback has to be prepared to come in at any point. But I don't think Alex Smith was really fully prepared to actually step on the field. He didn't expect Kyle Allen to go out as soon as he did, which pretty much forced his hand. And he didn't do bad. He didn't do bad, but you can see where you know those 2 years that he missed played a big factor, in that game in week 5. With the rain going, the constant rain throughout the whole game, and the offensive line struggling. It was bad. It was bad. So it was a bad showing. We're gonna move on. As far as where Kyle Allen stands, right? So Kyle Allen moving forward, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this so far? Please feel free to comment right now as far as what you feel about Kyle Allen. And in the end of the episode, which is questions and comments from the fans, in that segment, I will, pretty much address the comments and anything like that, and we can pretty much, talk about it. All right. But Kyle Allen looks like he's the starter from now on until changes will be made. Not sure what is the exact plan for Ron Rivera at this point. So I mean, we'll have to see. All right. So moving forward is the week 5 recap, the good and the bad. And I want to show you guys a couple of things. Okay. This is the recap of week 5. All right. I'm not sure if you guys can see it as big as I can right now, but you see it right here. This is the stats from the week 5. Okay, against the Rams. As you see here, we only had 108 yards in total offense, and that's not good. As a team with the talent that you have, you can't allow yourself to only be able to have 108 yards in rushing. You can obviously see where the big problem was. The receivers weren't getting any type of separation. J.D. McKissick was the leading receiver in that game, which is crazy because he's a running back, and you have Terry McLaurin. So that had a big issue. But the main issue that I want you guys to actually pay attention to right now is seeing the rushing yards and the rushing attempts. If you look at the amount of rushing attempts that you see over here, you see that the Rams had 35 rushing attempts, and that pretty much divvied up between the 3 running backs that they have on their roster. And then you see that we have 14, which Antonio Gibson had 11, 11, 11, 11, 11 carries itself, and everybody else had 1. That made a really big change. So before we move forward, I want to bring on my co-host. He's a little late, but he's here. The DMV champ, Brian. What up, bro?
What's going on, sir? Once again, I'm late. I apologize.
Nah, man,
What's
you
going
good,
on
man.
YouTube and Facebook? What's going on?
Man, we all right, man. So, we pretty much talking about week 5 and
Oh man.
how week 5 went. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty sighting, but you know how it is. You know what it was, and pretty much what we have right now in Washington, and what is there to offer. So, um, I was showing them like the recap of week 5, and pretty much the yardage and things like that. Not I'm not sure if people can actually see it, but here where everybody else, where it pretty much the stats from week 5 with the Rams and Washington. All right, you see that as far as like the rushing yards, Kyle Allen is the second, has the second, most in rushing yards, which is 7. Antonio Gibson only having 27, and rushing only 11 times, and when you see on the other side where, Daryl Henderson has 15 and only rushed for 38, and it's just one of those things where they have gotten the running game established on the Rams side. You know, they,
Okay.
they
When you say the run established, because I don't know if we see in the same game, I barely see us run the ball.
no, I'm talking about the
Like,
Rams.
oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah, the Rams was going to punch it down our throat.
Yeah, having the three running back company, and we have three running backs as well. Not top of the line running backs, but we have running backs that's able to produce yards. But it just seems as from what it looks like now, since week one, is that once we're down 14 or more points, it's all about playing catch up now, and the actual game plan starting off, gets lost, and has to pretty much just like scrap it and just have to play catch up, and that's it was a pretty much a bad game, all around. So um, it was just bad. Kyle Allen, like I said, he suffered an injury that caused him to leave before halftime, and Alex Smith was chose to came in, and it's just crazy, it's just crazy because now, like I was saying earlier, Alex Smith really didn't plan to play. Like, I understand as a backup, you are prepared to play, at any given moment. But I don't think Alex Smith, was really ready mentally, to come in that quick. And you can see that on the field, that 2 years not being on the field, it shows. And I guess it'll get better. It'll get better, in due time. Not, like I said, we're not sure what exactly is the plan for Ron Rivera at this point. But what we do see is that he has a lot of faith in Alex Smith, and Alex Smith looks like the future of the season, not the future of the team, but the future of this season as far as starting. That's what it looks like so far. If you hear Ron Rivera talk about Alex Smith when it's brought up, it looks like that he's looking for Alex Smith to be the starter in the second half of the season. But but he says that he's sticking with Kyle Allen. But from the way it's been looking, once things starting to get bad, he would just go to the next man up, and that's just what I see right now as far as Ron Rivera. What do you think, Brian?
Oh man, Alex Smith looked like Alex Smith to me. Check down king. He threw it to the running back the whole entire time. He had a couple receivers come across the middle that was wide open. He checked it down. This is the reason why I said I really don't want him playing no more. I don't want to see him play no more. Um, all condolence and respect for him to take the snap and to come in, but he was put in a bad position. And then what made it even worse is Ron Rivera uh, was told that Kyle Allen was cleared to come back in the game, but instead with that old line that we have, um, Alex didn't look good to me at all. And I'm
Yeah,
just sitting there and just like both quarterbacks to me, even Kyle Allen didn't look good to me. I mean, he played to me. He plays reckless. I don't I don't see him
well,
even
yeah,
making it.
and you can see that in his game there is a little bit of recklessness, but I think it was more of the offensive line obviously is a big issue. And I
Yeah,
think
hands
that with
down.
the conditions of the constant rain throughout the game also played a major factor as well. You seen last year when we had that constant rain in the FedEx Field again, against the 49ers, how devastating that game was. Regardless if we had the game, very close, that rain played a major factor, towards, with the with the plan. And I think that with Alex Smith just coming back, and with him coming back and the offensive line and conditions, it was just all bad. It was all bad, and I don't really think nothing really good came out of this game, except for Kendall Fuller getting another interception. But as far as offensively, the only thing I really can keep saying is how despite how Antonio Gibson isn't getting as many looks as he should. As far as the game plan goes, I just think that he always shows his potential to become better every week.
Uh, when it comes to Antonio Gibson, this is just my personal opinion. He's a dude that's very athletic. He knows the position, but he's not a real running back to me at all, bro. I'm sorry, he's not a real back. He's a Chris Thompson 2.0 in my opinion. Once again, I feel like this is another huge mistake Rivera has made. We had a bell cow. We had a legit runner back, Adrian Peterson. We let him go. I understand they was trying to go in a different direction, but dog, I had a feeling if AP was in some of these games, dog, especially the Cleveland game, we could have ran the ball. AP would have ran it down their throat, and he would have been productive, and maybe Dwayne wouldn't have had so many mistakes and everything. But that's just my personal opinion. Antonio Gibson is like really a Chris Thompson 2.0 in my eyes, but he
Yeah,
can
but
be a number one. He can be a number one.
the difference that I see with Antonio Gibson and Chris Thompson is that with Antonio Gibson, I think he has more of a thrashing body than what Chris Thompson exactly really had. Chris Thompson was really an outside sweep guy, which is Antonio Gibson. He can easily like run through the middle, and have that cutback speed that you need to hit the hole in case he misses that hole in a matter of seconds. And I think honestly, I'm not saying that he's the guy to be starting right now, but I think, with every week that progresses, if, I'm saying, Scott Turner, gets this kid involved as much as he should, I think that we can get a lot, out of Antonio Gibson. You see JD McKissick, he plays very well in situational downs, and, I like where he's at right now. He, like I said, I'm not, putting him on the high horse, but, is, as bad as a lot of fans, see the worst and the negatives here, there are some positives, with this team. There are some positives, and that's
Yeah.
offensively. But I mean, it's just not fun when you're watching the games on Sunday, and you see the talent that's there, but and then you have this offensive line, with Scherf being out, and
Shervis practiced today. I was just about to announce that he practiced
yes,
today.
right. Yeah, Scherf was able to practice today. They given him a 21 day window to actually be fully cleared to undergo full participation practice. So that's a good thing, But again, like I said, I don't want things to be rushed. He's still young, so just one of those things where with offensive line, your leg is one of the main things that you need. So I don't want him to rush and and come back sooner than what he's supposed to be.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Hmm.
I think I did ask you this before. I'm not sure. Due to Brandon Scherf, I just found out he wasn't a two-time. He's a three-time Pro Bowl guard.
Hmm.
So, due to him being injured and everything as well, would you re-sign him for the money he wants, or would you try to give him a team-friendly deal and let him know like, hey, there's some incentives if you can play a certain amount of games? Like this dude been missing games for the past 2 seasons.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? It's all about here's the problem that I've always had with Washington is that they've never really invested in their offensive line.
Yeah.
In the matter of a whole decade and some change, we've only had what, two Pro Bowlers that came out from our offensive line, and that's Brandon Scherf and Trent Williams.
Yep.
You
That's what I'm
know,
saying, man.
and it's just lackluster right now because you know a lot of Washington fans saying that we need to draft a quarterback next year. Let's just tank and draft the next quarterback, and I'm like, it's just not that simple. It can be Vince Young coming back for a comeback year if you don't have an offensive line to protect this guy or whoever's the quarterback that's playing under the center. I don't. It's just no point in getting a new quarterback.
We need a line like the Tennessee Titans line. You know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh Steelers line. We need a dog line, and we need some more dudes. Like we need two tackles and another guard. And I was just gonna ask you, what did you do? Would you have? Would it be crazy for Ron Rivera if I'm Ron Rivera right now? If I'm trying to rotate that line, the Schweitzer kid, I'll move him to left guard and let Bushakar go back to right guard and see how that work with him.
You talking about Chase
Now,
Roulier?
no, Chase Roulier is playing center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, you keep Chase Roulier in. Like I like
Right.
Chase Roulier. I don't know what's the problem. Like I mess with him. No, I'm talking about our guards and our tackles. Like
Oh
Jerron
well.
Christian is trying. He gets beat in the whole first half. Then he might play good for like a whole quarter or something.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is I think with Ron Christian, I think that what Ron Rivera has to do is what we did with Eric Flowers. Eric Flowers was a tackle at one point, and then we move it over the guard, and he's blossomed. He's not here now, but he's with Miami, and he's doing fairly well. You know what I'm saying?
We that comes down to Ron Rivera making dumb decisions.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Me personally, and yes, I've been saying that we need to invest in an offensive line, but you don't want to invest in an offensive lineman that costs too much than what you can get for somebody else. Now, what I can say is that during the offseason, I didn't really like how Ron Rivera and the front office really handled the offensive line and getting things in order on the offensive line. I mean, sure, what I'm saying, you wanna have faith in the guys that you have, and you want to leave it up to the young guys. Will Sadiq Charles, he's been
He has not played yet
he has
again.
not played yet. He has not played yet, and right now he's listed as clear to play. He had full participation in practice today. So I'm looking to see where exactly does he fit in week 5 against New York. But we have to invest in this offensive line, and that's just what it is. And as bad as things are looking for Dwayne Haskins right now, we're not sure exactly whether they're going to trade him or what's going to happen. But what I can say is that um, regardless of who's the quarterback is, if there is no foundation with that offensive line, it's going to be trouble every time. And that's just always what it has been. And
It's
that's
always
what
in the
us.
trenches, bro. It's
Yeah,
always in the
and
trenches, man.
so now we have to see, because we still have Keith Ismail, who we haven't seen actually get any reps yet. We still have Sadiq Charles, who hasn't got any reps yet due to injury. So now you have to ask yourself with these new coaches, where do you go from this? Do you try your hand with these young guys and see how they go, or do you just keep these guys in who hasn't really been producing? So yeah, man, it's just crazy, But we're going to move on to one of the biggest things that a lot of people have been talking about throughout the week, and
Uh
that
oh.
is the Alex Smith story.
Oh Lord.
um, the Alex Smith, his story has been very remarkable. I'm not sure if anybody has actually seen the actual documentary. You can catch it on ESPN. I'm pretty sure you can pull it up on YouTube. But the documentary was very inspiring, and seeing how this guy, he got injured. It was a life threatening surgery. I believe he had 17 surgeries on his leg. The infections and his whole recovery story. It was very inspiring, and seeing him in the game taking hits, and seeing the caution of his wife's face, every
Yeah, and his
play,
kids. Yeah.
and his kids, it's it was very great to see him, being able to carry Aaron Donald on his back a few times. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can see on the sideline, where Aaron Donald said, "Man, that leg is strong. Like that leg is strong." So it was it
He
was
don't.
it,
Yeah, he's not even the same. Walking or mobile right now. So I really wish he retired. That's just my personal intake.
yeah,
I'm be scared every time that dude gets snaps, steps in that snaps, drops back in. I'm gonna be nervous for him.
yeah, and the crazy thing is they were talking about amputation at one point.
Yep.
They was talking about just cutting the leg off, but due to the serious infections that were caused, during the massive amount of surgeries that he's taken, and just seeing him now, coming back from all that, and like we never knew, like as fans, we were for sure that Alex Smith's career was over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
You know,
still think it is.
we was for sure to see him that he's going to play a role inside of the front office or as a quarterback coach or or something along them lines. Where but every week I'm still going to be nervous for him because anything can happen.
Bro,
You
I
know
don't want
you
him playing, bro.
you seen Dak Prescott. And my heart still goes out to Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah,
And
hands down. It's the sport. It's
yeah,
an aggressive sport, bro. It
it's an
happens, bro.
it's an aggressive sport, and to see him go down like that, and it was just crazy, because like I said, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So and that's just the game of football. But when you have such uh, a life threatening injury and the amount of surgeries as Alex Smith, you know, at this point, it's not saying, oh, you're not going to come back. It's just, you shouldn't come back. It's, you're more than a player at this point. You're a father. You know what I'm saying? You're a
Ex-
husband,
He
and
got
we
the
just,
Joe Theismann treatment, man.
yeah, and once he got injured, Joe Theismann immediately reached out to him. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a similar injury. It was a similar injury. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Theismann reached out, and he even said, during the game, how he was able to talk to Alex Smith throughout his time of rehabilitation and recovery, and he said, man, he just wishes that, at that time there was just as much technology, as far as the recovery process as it was now, because who knows what Joe Theismann would have been at, with the amount of technology as we has today, but
That's true.
and it was great to hear Joe Theismann, talk about Alex Smith. So again, Alex Smith, welcome back. Glad to have you back on the field. Just try to not try to end the season without an injury. All right.
Yeah, just stay healthy and just stay healthy. Just stay
So
healthy. That's it.
here is one of my favorite segments so far that we came up with. I think the last two episodes, and that is the Hog Stars. All right, this is where we choose one or two or multiple players from the previous week that pretty much stood out. And
Oh,
despite the way the game went last week, week 5 against the Rams, there were at least one or two players that actually stood out. And I gotta say it, Kendall Fuller. I had a prediction that he was going to get 2 interceptions. He didn't get two. He
he
got
got
one,
one.
but he's becoming pretty consistent right now. We're getting interceptions so far.
He better
So
go Pro Bowl too. He better go Pro Bowl.
so Kendall Fuller, he gets my Hawk star. You know what I'm saying? He's been very good as far as handling his side, and I'm glad to see him back in Washington. He's a Super Bowl cornerback now. But yeah, he's my Hog star. Another guy is Chase Young. Seeing Chase Young back, man. I
He made
don't.
a couple of plays.
Yeah, he made a couple plays, but seeing him, get you can see the level of disruption that is caused when he's on the field, and
Montez Sweat, bro. I'm sorry, Montez Sweat.
yeah, there you go, Montez Sweat, another big guy. Where you know he's just been getting better week in and week out as well. So, do
I
you have
want him
any
to.
other do you have any other Hog stars that you want to throw out there?
This is gonna sound odd and weird, but I gotta give it up to one of the offensive linemen, Schweitzer. He had a couple of clean run
You know
blocks,
what?
dog,
Yeah,
putting niggas on their back, man. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
was impressed with that. That's what I want to see. So
yeah.
that's why I was like, I'll move him over to left. I'll move him over to left and then put what you call back on his spot, his original spot.
Yeah.
I just want to know
You
is when is
know.
Sadiq Charles going to play? I'm just waiting.
Yeah, we are waiting for Sadiq Charles. There's been a lot of talks about him in the off season, but now the talking is pretty much over. Like, we want to see you on the field now, but we understand that injuries, do come, and you have to heal yourself before you actually get ready to get back on the field. So, hopefully, Sadiq Charles is able to be,
And
on the
Bryce
field.
Love.
You know, yeah, and Bryce Love, he's still going through his injury with his knee, I believe, the same knee that he injured, the previous week. I mean, previous season. So yeah, man. Another hog side that he was there when it involved, with the inside with Robert Woods. That was Cameron Curl. You know, Cameron Curl. He didn't really have a very impactful game, but you can see that wherever he's on the field, wherever he sees the ball, he's there. On his side, and I like this kid. I can't sell this kid enough. I've been having my eyes on him the whole season, even in the all season. Once he got drafted, I liked it. I like the selection. I like what he brings on the field. I just hope that again, I just hope that Jack Del Rio really finds a spot on his defensive game plan with this kid. So here's Brian's favorite topic, which is coach's grade.
Ha! Yes, sir, Bob.
So this is the coach's grade for the first quarter of the season, where obviously the first quarter is the first 4 weeks, of the NFL season, and we're gonna give the grades for the head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. Brian, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start with
Why can't we
Ron
do
Rivera.
rock, paper, scissors?
I'm always the one to go first, man. So you go ahead and go
All
first.
right, no problem. No, no, I'm
Go
just messing with you. No way, no problem.
ahead.
Um, my grade for Ron Rivera, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, man, is it's a C minus.
Okay,
Uh,
I,
uh,
I gotta agree with that. I can agree with that.
the reason, like I said, his off season moves, I feel like um he wasn't aggressive enough because we missed out on some free agents. I feel like could have helped the team, made the team better. He tried to get Amari Cooper and Austin Hooper, and he failed with both of them. So he stopped trying getting real ballers to come to the team, and he just started picking up scrubs and special team players, and told them, "Hey, you might have a chance to start with the Washington football team." That's the reason why we're in the position we're in now. We don't, but outside of Terry McLaurin, we don't really have another dog. So it's like, and then it's like the season is about to be week 6 now. That's trade deadline. No, it's week 8 now, and it's about to be trade deadline coming up. He still has a bustle move to get another weapon or anything.
Right,
Like I said, we don't have a real solid runner back because he's running tests with players, and I'm like, dog, like right now, Le'Veon Bell's available. I'm like, dude, you could sign him to a veteran minimum for cheap, and then then try to trade and see can you get a real good lineman, dog. We need a real solid lineman. I don't care if it's a tackle or a guard. We just
right.
need one of them. And Ron just sitting there, just like he letting everyone play and to see who has it and who doesn't. I guess I don't know. I just don't
Well,
understand him.
yeah, and there's been a lot of key names, on the free agency list, from off season and this season, where a lot of fans was like, hey, won't you go out for this player, right? And I like Le'Veon Bell, and I just hate to see how the Jets really handle that situation. But the thing about getting running backs is, again, it's like I said, we need an offensive line to to open the hole for this guy. And I think that's just the main problem with Antonio Gibson, not being able to, produce as much as we would like him to. So
Yeah,
you know, again, like I said, there are some, okay guys, in on that offensive line that that we need to go out for in free agency. It's just all about now is who do you go for now? Who is on the free agency list right now as far as offensive linemen? I just think that right now, if you see that this team can actually win, then you go out and you get yourself an offensive lineman. You
A
know,
good one. Make a good, decent
go out and
trade or
get yourself,
something, yeah.
go out and get yourself an offensive lineman, and that's what we need. And that's what I'm gonna keep saying. I get that there are other things that we need, but as long as we don't address, because I'm gonna be honest, in order for the quarterback to get it to these wide receivers,
He
that we have,
needs a line. He
you need
needs
yeah,
a line.
you need a line, and Dontrell Inman, he isn't the best, but you can see that if there's time to actually see him, you can get a play out of him. And you've seen that against the Browns. You've
I
seen
mean,
that
yeah,
against
I
the
mean,
Ravens.
yeah, but he
You
has
know,
been hurt too. He's been hurt. He messed his wrist up.
yeah, his wrist and then
So
his foot. So
yeah,
he's not toting 100%. As he would like to. So my coach grade for Ron Rivera is same thing as you, is the C minus. I like Ron Rivera. I think that people need to give him an actual chance to build his team, but at the same time, it goes back to like, we get that this is a whole rebuilding phase, but
uh
if
huh.
you see that this team can win, then as a coach you have to see things in the perspective where okay, it's time to go out and get an offensive lineman. Let's see, and and you know what? I'm not mad at the whole, prerogative for him, which is, like, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to run it, and
That's
people is
how his
going to be mad
attitude
at me.
has been. But he's been contradicting himself. He's been making piss poor decisions, dude. He's been making really bad decisions. Like, dude, if you really wanted to win, Trent Williams would have never left that building. If you really wanted to win, what's the name of the kid we let go to Miami again? I forgot his name. It's not
Eric
clicking in right
Flowers.
now. Yes, I would have paid Eric Flowers the money. He's young. He developed into a good player, becoming a good guard, and it's hard to find linemen. And I told you this, right now in the NFL, it's hard to find good quarterbacks and good linemen. That is like, it's so hard. That's why teams are going through them. That's why it's not so many good teams in the NFL now, because you got five, maybe six good solid teams with really good offensive linemen. Or
Yeah.
if their offensive lineman ain't good, they got a quarterback who's elite.
Right. And my buddy Eric, we were supposed to have him on today, but he wasn't able to make it due to some other obligations. But he sent me some notes. He's a wide receiver and defensive back scout.
Ah,
And he was giving me his take on the whole game. He was telling me that he watched the game again, and um he sent me the pretty much the overview. So here are some quick numbers. Right, the Rams ran 66 plays with the gain of 429 yards. Washington ran 42 plays with the gain of 108 yards. Offensively. Rams passed for 300 yards and rushed for 129 yards total. And the Washington football team passed for 70 yards and rushed for 38 yards total. The Rams possessed the ball for 38 minutes and 35 seconds with an average of 6.5 yards per play. Where the
mm,
Washington
mm, mm.
football team possessed the ball for 24 minutes and 25 seconds with an average of 2.1 yards per play. And when you look at the the lopsided figure on that, it shows to where, it has to be better production from here on out. And that's just, with the whole team, and to be honest, it just starts with the offensive line. And I can't stress that enough. I can't stress
And
that
also
enough.
the
And
offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, though. I think
yeah,
Scott Turner is trash.
yeah, and the thing about Scott Turner, is what I'm seeing now is they rely on the sole purpose of their running backs and their wide receivers to get yards after catch. And in
But
this
there's no
game,
scheme. What is our
yeah,
scheme?
is and one thing that he said is that Eric was saying is that it's very predictive. Is everything is very very predictive with this offensive scheme. What he also said is he said, "I'm sure I'll be crucified for going against what fans want to believe, But Rivera is making the same mistakes that cost him his job in Carolina. The whole, if it, he said, Ron Rivera has this mentality that if it isn't broke, attitude is, which is why we are
Yes,
still
sir.
here. Rivera Rivera is Rivera is not infallible, and he is not being objective when evaluating his staff and what they did in their last stop. There was obviously issues, but he failed to either see them or chose to ignore them. Even with their offense relying on Christian McCaffrey, they lost each game by 2 scores with Scott Turner running the offense. We don't have a CMAC, but although Antonio Gibson is beginning to show signs that he can be explosive and a special talent, we aren't there yet. And, you know, when he said that, I had to actually sit back and I had to think about it, and I don't necessarily think that, you know, I think Ron Rivera is just right now seeing where it all lies, and as a coach, sometimes as an NFL coach, you can't do that. You can't just see where it lies, and then make changes as you go. You're gonna have a losing season if that happens. And I think that's where I see the lack of production with Ron Rivera is that when you sit there and when you see that he is when you sit there and you see that he's not making the adjustments as he should, and when he goes in the post game conference and he uses words like, you know, he used phrases like, we're going to see how things work and if adjustments needs to be made in the long run, then we'll make it. But right now, and I like where these guys is, I like where these guys are standing. And again, it's like, listen, I get it. I do have all the faith in you right now as a head coach, as a new head coach. But are you trying to win, or are you just trying to see what these guys have?
And
And
bro,
that's
that's what I'm coming to you. And the guys that's watching right now, I'm gonna ask y'all the same question. Ron to me looks lost, bro. He comes out and says he's evaluating the team. He wants to see what he has. Then he's seen that the rest of the division was trash. Then you want to come up and make decisions and bring in your boy Kyle Allen, which I believe is trash too. And then you come out and think it's going to make a difference. I just wish somebody can be. I feel like we still in the Jay Gruden era yet. To everyone that's
no.
watching, does it still feel like this is all the
See,
Jay Gruden era? The leaks. I'm talking about. Hold on, hear me out. The leaks, the benching of the quarterback, and the making lame excuses and saying that he can't run the offense. And I'm going out there and I'm seeing your boy trying to run the offense, and y'all give him praise because he ran in a touchdown, and then he tried to get a first down and gave himself a concussion because he runs wild. He doesn't know how to slide. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't impressed from none of the quarterbacks. Period. We might as well left Dwayne Haskins in. Like that's just my personal opinion.
here's the thing though. Again, like obviously that you see it is that it's the offensive line, and I just really think that I just really think that you know, I'm not saying that Kyle Allen is the better option. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is right now Kyle Allen's the starter, and it doesn't look like Dwayne Haskins will be
It's gonna
starting
be
anytime soon. You know what I'm saying?
no.
So right now is instead of looking at the negatives on this kid, see that after what I've seen, against the Rams, there are some things that he was able to do, regardless of the offensive line, and that's to go through his progressions properly and get the ball out when it's needed. Granted, there were a lot more checkdowns, but he got the ball out. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a positive. I'm not putting him out there like, what I'm saying, he's the better quarterback or anything. But right now, he's our starting quarterback. And, I don't personally like the way it was dealt with Haskins, but, you know, people has to always say, look, football is a business at the end of the day.
Not for long.
Not for long. But as of right now, me personally, people say that Dwayne Haskins is done in Washington. I don't 100% believe that yet.
I hope
You
he's
know,
not. I really
I
hope
don't
he's
I
not.
don't I don't I don't 100% believe that yet. You know what I'm saying? And people have their narrative of what they want to see, right? And you know, and I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's not me being a naive Washington fan. It's me looking at the upside and the bad side of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Dwayne Haskins shouldn't have been benched, but at the same time, you got to see with the status of our offensive line and him not having a proper offensive line. We know this. We know this part. But at the same time, when the ball is hiked, when you do have time, I just need you to get the ball out. And he wasn't doing that. And it's because he's young. He's still learning.
Yeah, he was trying to hit the big home run plays instead of just worry about moving the
Yeah,
chains and getting the first down. So I understand that
exactly.
part.
And now it's to the point where, I just think that Ron Rivera looked at Dwayne Haskins and said, hey, listen, you're not getting it. I'm not done with you. What I want you to do is I want you to just study the playbook. I want you to look at where your mistakes were. Because we can't tell you, where your mistakes were. You have to see it for yourself. So we're gonna put you on the bench, and we're gonna put you on the bench. We're gonna put you third string, and I want you to actually sit and learn, not have to worry about getting on the field at any time soon. So that's pretty much how how I see it. Plays, I think things do need time to develop.
I just think we should just let the kid play. Jesus Christ! Like, if
But
you want to
see,
say
at
culture,
what at
you
what
talk the
expense?
culture
At what
talk, man.
expense? At what expense?
Dude, we not a good
At what
football team
expense?
anyway. What you mean experience for him to get experience? How can we really? We right now they by him bitching him, we don't know, still don't know what we got.
I
And are we
mean,
going to keep getting? And then keep. I mean, like I said, it is what it
so
is now,
so
man.
so so all right. So let me say this. Let me say this. Let's say they do keep him in, right? Here's what I'm saying. Let's say Ron says, "Screw it. Let's just keep him in." And in the next three games, which we have the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Giants again. In the next three games, he throws three interceptions apiece and no touchdowns. Do you still keep him in? I want you to think about it. Do you still keep him in? You
You
know
have
that.
no choice if you have this. Listen to me, and I understand what you're saying, but hear me out. Once again, Kyler Murray's been playing like trash for the past ever since he smoked us in Washington in week
But he put
two.
points on the board.
He's have been
But
playing
but
like trash,
but he
but
been-
he's threw three
but
picks in 2 games in a row.
but he put points on the board. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he got
You
legs, so
want
he
you
can't
want you
put
want to
balls on the
know
board.
you want to know who else got benched in week 4? Brian
Who?
Hoyer.
Come on, man. He's a backup. He's trash.
I
Like,
mean,
come on now. He's been a
listen. But
backup
what
his
I, what I
whole
want,
life, bro.
but what I want people to understand, what I want people to understand is that listen, I get it. I'm all behind Dwayne Haskins still to this day. I want I
Yeah, but
want the
it's a
kid.
business.
I want the kid to not even right now about business, but I'd rather for him to sit and learn and grow. And even if it's not with us, what I'm saying? I would like for it to be with us. But at this time, I don't want him to rack up interceptions, at the expense of just learning as you play. You know, I just think that type of football, it brings your stats down a little bit when you're throwing as many interceptions and touchdowns, than touchdowns, all because maybe you catch on, you know, maybe you'll catch on.
You want to know another thing? This is and this is. I want you to sit here and think about this too. Once again, I keep bringing up this every week. Daniel Jones is playing even a little worse than Dwayne Haskins, but you don't hear people in New York screaming, "Bench him,
Oh,
replace him."
oh,
They're
you
not.
don't.
They're not screaming in New York. No, I'm not
Who?
hearing anything about benching Daniel Jones.
Who?
I'm telling
I
you,
guarantee you. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
no. His job
There
is
are New
this his
York
job. Is his
fans.
job? Is he bench now? He's still starting, correct?
Yeah.
Because you know why? Do you want to know why? Because he has a whole organization that's behind him that wanted him to be the quarterback. Instead, we have a black quarterback that's playing for the team that the owner only wanted, which again, not the rest of the team, not the coaches, not the scouting, not none of them, just the owner. So now they benching this kid. They just showing. Oh, I feel like all they doing is showing Daniel Snyder. Yeah, you once again picked the quarterback. That's a bust. Wasted our time. Now we got to work with this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? I just that's the way. If it really realization looks like exactly what's happened, it's like, dog, we don't want him. And Ron has that way to feel that way. Ron didn't draft him. That's not his guy. He could be like, Ron can really just be doing it. He like, huh? I gave your kid 4 weeks of being a starter. I told him he was the starter. We had training camp, so he had like 11, 12 weeks to get this thing right, and he ain't getting it right, like you said. So now I'm gonna move on to Kyle Allen. And then, like I said, I'm gonna sit here and watch and see what's going on. I understand it's a business, bro, but like I said, the way Ron's constructing things and the way he's handling, I feel like it's just, is to me personally, this feels like Jay Gruden 2.0. I don't.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
we
don't,
still in
yeah,
the same boat.
I don't see that, and because Jay Gruden was way worse. I think like with Jay Gruden, it became toxic. You know what I'm saying? It became real toxic, and you can see the players actually believe in Ron Rivera and see what Ron Rivera can do. Versus the players with Jay Gruden, where there might have been one or two players who actually really believed in Jay Gruden, but let's be real. There was a toxic environment, and even to this day, for some players that's still there after the Jay Gruden era, it's still somewhat toxic there. There's still some level of toxicity there, but with Ron Rivera, I just want people to understand is that when you hire a head coach and that head coach hire the coaches that he wants. Like I understand that things are not looking right so far, but what I also want to reiterate is this. The pandemic has also been a factor.
Yeah.
Secondly, you know, again, like I get why would you hire a offensive coordinator that don't really have any experience? But
O'Connell is
hold
you.
up.
We just saw
You want to
O'Connell
know? You want to know
shred
what? You
us.
want to know who else who went over to offensive coordinator for a second, but
Go
wasn't
ahead.
experienced?
Who?
The coach that we played last week. Just saying, Sean McVay was a tight end coach.
Yeah, but Sean McVay,
He
he
was a
built
tight
a
end
name
coach.
for
He was a
himself,
tight end coach.
and better
He
than
was a
Jay
tight end
Gruden,
coach. He was
and
a tight
better
end
than Jay
coach.
Gruden.
Sure, sure. But the point is that being offensive coordinator, you learn throughout that week, and you learn throughout the season. I think Scott Turner will become, somewhat of a decent, offensive coordinator as time comes. But if everybody is just all forget it, you know what I'm saying, scrap them, fire them, let's get another offensive coordinator, then sure, then sure. But you're not going to build a successful team like that by keep scrapping the guys that you have. And like I get it. Trust me, I get it. There's no experience there with offensive coordinator with Scott Turner. He probably only got hired because of his name, yada yada yada. I get it. But I still stand on, you know, this year is a total rebuilding year. Regardless of Ron Rivera saying that he wanted to, there is a chance for this team to win a division, whatever, but this is still a rebuilding season. And I just want everybody to just let things come together. Maybe there is some light, there is some shade of light, you know, at the end of the season, in the last 8 games. Who knows? But I
Like I
just
said,
want,
I'm gonna sit back and just watch, man. And
yeah,
like I said, I listen to sports
I just
radio,
want fans to
dog.
give,
It's a drama going
I
on
just, I
up
just,
there, dog.
I just want fans to give, just to give this time. So we're gonna move on to the next segment, all right? And this is, the Week 6 matchup against the New York Giants. This is a division game. So far, we have one division win, against the Eagles. And despite that was about injuries, it was the first game. We got a division win, and there is slightly a momentum on our side right now as far as with the division win. Now the only thing is we have a 3-game division stretch. So that's another thing that we also have to, take a look at. But next week we have the Giants. The Giants is 0-5. We're 1-4. So now the question is, what do we have to do And despite the offensive line status, what needs to happen offensively and defensively for the Giants to lose and us coming on top with two divisional wins?
Easy. What two things we suck at? We are the worst at consistently every year. Third down
Run,
conversions
yeah.
on offense and defense. Defense needs to get off the field, and then, like I said, once again, people can talk trash about the defense, man. The defense been playing, dog. Like the second half of the Rams game last week, they made the Rams punt 7 times, 7 times,
Hmm.
and no offense. So, me personally, I just want to see better third down conversions and put points on the board. And like, I just don't care. Even if it's a field goal, I just need to see if the offense has a rhythm. Um, I'm wouldn't. This is a toss-up game for me. To be honest with you, we can win this jump, we can lose this jump. Same thing with both teams. Who's fully more prepared, who wants it more, and this will be a heck of a bounce back game because that means we're 2-0 the division and a second win, and that make Ron look good. He got two division wins so far. That's about it.
Yeah. The way I see it right now, is is that yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. I think the running game needs to actually be established this time, and you don't have to use one running back to get 150 yards, but I want to see some type of establishment with the run game. Just because you see that it's not working with the first running back, you try it with the next one. If that doesn't work with that running back, then you use the other one. I mean, you got these guys here for a reason. You got to use them. And I think that for the guys that we have, they're not being utilized. As what we will see, and that's all goes to coach. Scott Turner's game plan. But we got to get the running game established, and I've been saying that week in and week out, and the running game just hasn't been somewhat established. You know what I'm saying? The Antonio Gibson only comes out with 30 yards with nine carries or something like that, and then no other running backs get any type of touches, which is crazy. So we have to utilize these running backs. We have to get the running game involved because obviously the offensive line is not going to be able to hold up for Kyle Allen to be passing the ball 40 times.
Thank you,
So
thank you, thank
we
you,
we
thank you.
gotta we gotta definitely get this the running game, you know, going, and we gotta get Terry McLaurin involved somehow. The Giants have a decent secondary. The guys that they have there is just amazing right now, and they've been firing all cylinders. But I think
Terry's cooking this weekend, bro. His barbecue
yeah, I
chicken
think
with
I
him.
think I think this will be actually the game that we see a lot of Terry McLaurin and Dontrell Inman. And I think Kyle Allen will somehow get Logan Thomas involved too. I haven't really given up on Logan Thomas yet. Yeah, he did drop a few balls, that
That's every
throughout the
week.
season, but I think Logan Thomas will be very involved in this game. But defensively, you can see where Matt Ioannidis not being there, causes a major factor because we're not able to get the rush on the ball as often as we
He's
should.
he's. I told you, bro. He was our best D lineman, bro.
Yeah, and Ryan Kerrigan plays better in situational downs versus starting every down, on the defense. And sometimes you just have guys like that. You know what I'm saying? You have guys who not going to play every down. Who's only there for situational reasons. But the linebackers have to do their job of containing Evan Ingram. And I mean, how I feel about the tight ends
Duh, I
on the
feel the
opposing
same
team.
way you feel about the tight ends. They ain't nothing gonna change, man. They gonna run
Yeah,
that
I
joint right up
mean,
to the city.
Tyler Higbee, you seen that, and then now we got another top tight end, in the NFL with Ingram, and that's again, like I said, and I've been saying it every week. That's going to be one of the keys to the game is containing that tight end,
I'm
and
sorry,
until
that's not just him. They got another dog on the outside.
yeah, and another big key is I'm going to say it. and it's based off what I've seen in the last 2 weeks. Landon Collins have to step up.
Oh, he
He
better show something. This is his man. He better show something, man.
and Landon Collins had to step up. Troy Apke has to step up, or you put in Cameron Curl or Sean Davis. You seen Cameron Curl, play a
Sean
lot more
Davis is
snaps.
not with us no more.
There we
He
go.
back with Pittsburgh. He went back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
We
but
waived him.
the crazy thing is now is that now we have Cameron Curl, and Cameron Curl has been getting more snaps. He got more snaps. He got more snaps in the last game. So the keys is to not allowing Daniel Jones to rack up 300 yards in passing, and we have to stop Devontae Freeman. We got to stop the run. We've been pretty good. We've been pretty good despite last games, but we have been really good on stopping the run so far. And
Yeah,
you know
that's it.
with Chase Young coming back in, I think that this will be good. This will be a test. And then we
Daniel
have,
Jones can scramble.
yeah, but Lamar Jackson can scramble too. And despite of how we want to say with that 150-yard touchdown, Lamar Jackson was pretty much contained that game. And that just goes to see, shows that Daniel Jones, he's not really a mobile quarterback like Lamar Jackson, so that mobile aspect is not really, a big concern for me. So I guess we'll see about that. We're gonna move on to the next segment, which is bold predictions. Brian, I want you to give us end of season bold prediction and this week's bold prediction. Starting with this week's bold prediction.
This week's bold prediction: Chase Young gets 2 sacks.
Okay.
Offense, man. Offense, oh man, I'm gonna just say Terry gonna go over 100 yards receiving.
Okay.
And you said the end of the year predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I see us going 6-10.
Oh, okay. All right. We 1-4 right now. We 1-4 right now. So you have a feeling that we're gonna lose 6 more games and win 5 more.
Yeah, I mean
Gotcha.
I mean to me in my eyes that'd be a huge improvement compared to
Yeah.
last year. That'd
Yeah.
be a little step up.
Yeah. Exactly. And I totally agree. My bold prediction for next week will be Antonio Gibson gets his first 100 yards, 100 yard rushing game,
Uh huh.
and Kendall Fuller will get two interceptions, and one of those will be a pick six.
Hey, if he gets another pick this week, son, he's going to be a lock in Pro Bowl.
Yeah. End of the year. End of the year. Um. End of the year. Let's see. Terry McLaurin will become the top 10 wide receiver. End of the year.
I see that happening.
Top 10 wide receiver. That's my bold prediction.
Long as they feed him, long as they feed him.
Yeah. You got to get him involved somehow, but I guess we'll see. So, last but not least, we have what I guess about 10 to 15 more minutes. And here's one of my favorite ones. And this is a way how we interact with you guys. This is, questions and comments from the fans. So, like I said in the beginning, anything that you guys had to say, we'll post it live in a big bubble so that we can address it. So, let's go back and see exactly where we have. We see a lot of this is awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Keep tuning in. Tell your friends and their friends, man. We appreciate y'all showing us love. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. You guys can actually see at the bottom scrolling. You can follow us on Facebook at the HOGside and on Twitter at the HOGside again. All right. This show again is every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can catch our show on Facebook and on YouTube. It is here for your discretion every week. Every week. So let's see. What comments do we have? Um, we have Steve. So Steve, he's a Giants fan. You need O lineman. Looks like we both do from both team perspective.
Man, we
But
just need
yeah,
something.
we need O lineman definitely.
The Giants need
Next thing
icebox.
from Darius is why Washington never get a top pick. We always get the bottom of the batch. Well, I'm not sure, DJ.
Mm,
DJ, I'm not sure if you actually seen it, but these last draft, our top picks has been defensively. That's why we have Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, Matt Ioannidis. We got Montez Sweat. So we had the top guys, but we just didn't really address the offensive line situation. So if that's what you actually mean, then I can I'm totally with you. Why haven't really addressed the offensive
when
line?
he say a top pick, is he talking about like the top three, like the top three cream of the crop players, or the top
Yeah,
two? I mean, this is the first year in a long time we had a top cream of the crop pick.
yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but
Because usually we be in the team numbers, so I understand what you mean by that part.
yeah, we're gonna move on. We have Courtney here, where she says, "I think everyone is throwing this year away. Next year, the team will have a name and actually have a reason to put effect towards playing well." You know what?
That's
Here's
a way of looking at it,
Yeah,
but
that's
as
that's
a
that's a way of looking
fan,
at it.
no.
As a fan, I don't honestly. I'm just gonna say, Washington fans not looking to throw the season away.
No, we not.
Washington fans just want to win. And I'm on the other side of it. To be honest with you, I know that we're on a rebuilding phase. Winning is not really on the really top of my priority list right now. But I would love to see us get more wins than last season. That shows progress based off the moves that we made in the off season. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm hopeful for. We just gotta be better than what we have been, in the last season. Um, yeah, the next one she goes again. They don't even know what to call themselves. I bet they just sitting back like, let's use this year to find out what works and what doesn't work. Don't think too hard on it, guys.
It's easy to say, Miss Love. It's very easy to say. The big guys could probably feel that way, but us as fans, we sitting here scratching our heads like this is a huge slap in the face. You know what I'm saying? We be like, dog, we're huge Redskins fans. You know the symbol, the logo, woo woo woo. This is what we grew up with, and then they just like, oh no, you change your name, and then we got a new coach, and it's supposed to be this new era, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it is, what she said, I can see, where she's coming from, versus, how things been so far throughout the season.
Yeah,
And,
she's outside
you
looking
know,
in.
yeah, and I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it, man. But we'll see. We'll see how the season progresses. We got Daryl. Has Del Rio been too aggressive? To be honest, I don't think he
Uh,
has been aggressive enough, if you ask me.
no, not. I
You
would be
know,
blessing Landon Collins' ass like shit. I will
you
make him
know,
do something.
but I think I
Excuse my
think
language.
you're good, man. You're good. I think the main thing is that I don't think he's been too aggressive, but I see Landon Collins inside of the linebacker package with Blisson and stuff, but you know, I, is that the only reason why we really brought him here? I mean,
No,
maybe
he's made
maybe.
some good halftime adjustments, dude. I'm sorry. He
eh,
yeah.
eh,
Now think about if you go back into the games, not too many teams scored on us. We
eh.
haven't gave up really points in the second half.
For the contract that we gave him, he shouldn't be missing as many tackles. And that's just how I feel about it. I mean, I like Landon Collins. I like what he has been bringing, but I kind of need to see more from him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I need to see where the actual contract, is actually lies at. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just how I feel. We have another one, which Daryl again. It says it was good that Smith finally got hit. He's not the best, but he's our best available choice. He seems quote unquote fine.
I'm gonna have to disagree with him on that. I'm just not an Alex Smith fan, Doug. I know what he gonna do. I know how he gonna play. I'm done with that brother, man.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't want him to play for the sole fact of his injury, right? And it's like, ever since he been in that game, it's like every time I see Aaron Donald, just like what go right past. I just get so scared for the guy. And then when they put the camera on his wife, you can see the fear in her eyes. She's like, just any given moment, his leg is going to snap. But he carried Aaron Donald at least three
On his
times
back,
on his
yeah.
back. So the question is, did you feel the pain, or was that leg strong? And that is the question. Alex Smith was on the Today Show today, the Fox 5 morning show, and we got a little. They was asking him, how does his leg feel, and he said, "Man, look, I know people might say that, I'm just saying this so they won't be worried, but my leg is completely fine. Yes, I did go through a lot of surgeries, but my leg is fine. Yes, my wife is going to be worried, my kids is going to be worried, but I need everybody to understand is that, this is something that I'm doing for myself." And for my team, and every day I'm gonna give it 110% to go out here and make a play. And again, this is why I love Alex Smith. This is why I love Alex Smith. He's a leader. He's a veteran, and so he has that leadership, energy. And it's just good to see him back in the locker room, with these young guys, because these young guys seems to rally behind him as a veteran standpoint. And not saying that Dwayne Haskins isn't there as a leader, but sometimes people feed off the different energy when it comes to a guy like Alex Smith. Just like the same thing with Drew Brees. It's just where people see where that leadership energy is. So that's just how I see it. So for the last 5 minutes, do anybody have any other questions that they would like to ask? Any comments that they would like to throw out there? We're here to listen to you, and I appreciate you guys again for tuning in. So, guys, last 5 minutes here. What questions do you have for us? Or do you have a question for me? You have a question for Brian? Do you have a prediction? Anything? If you guys have any questions as far as fantasy football, you can tune in Saturday at 11:30. You can tune in to Saturday at 11:30 for the Pigskin Nut game preview, where my guy Jason, my buddy Jason, he gives fantasy advice, and game previews and things like that. Courtney, she asked another question. She said, "You think they're going to win next week?"
That's a
Here's the
toss
thing.
up.
Here's the thing. For me, it's what I see, right? And what I see right now is that these two teams are struggling. But the one thing that I said, against the Cowboys and the Giants game last week, is that for some odd reason, regardless of how bad the Giants are struggling, when it comes to a division game, it's like no holds barred for these guys. And that right there is what I like about division games. Like as bad as any team is, even last year, how we put up such a fight with our division, in the games, when it comes to these division games, it's different than playing any other season game. These guys come out and actually try to win, win a division game, because division wins are far more sweeter than regular season wins. If you ask me,
It's not even that. It's that
it's
they know each other.
exactly. These guys see each other, two times each. For each team, out of the year. So do I think that they're going to win next week? I think so. I think Washington can win next week. It's just all about getting certain guys involved, and halftime adjustments, and like my buddy B here said, third down conversions. And that goes offensively and defensively. We got to keep the defense off the field. The offense just have to convert third downs. We have another question by Daryl again. He says, will anyone take the lead running back position, or will it continue to be by committee?
This another good. That's a Daryl. Another good question. And this is my question I want to ask to the fans and anything as well as well. And I said this earlier. Le'Veon Bell is available. We do not have a number one running back that stands out. So Ron is going to keep rotating. It's going to be a committee backfield. He standing that made that clear until he finds his jewel. Right now, we got a veteran running back that's cheap. We can pay him whatever. He's cut. He's not. We don't have to trade for him. He's cheap. I would try to get him and also find me another good lineman to go with that to see to try to make it work. But to answer your question, Daryl, hands down, it's going to be committee. Ron doesn't even know what he still has, and Gibson just still hasn't showed me enough. So
Well, has he shown you enough because of because of skill, or has he not shown you enough because of the lack of involvement in the game plan? Because
oh, that's a both.
those two questions really do vary for me.
They
And
both.
honestly, I think I haven't seen. I just feel like I've seen a lot out of him. From what I see, based off the lack of involvement that he gets every week. I know that he can be explosive. And if you give him the ball the amount of times that you want, I think that he actually can take the lead, but it's not no time soon. He's still a rookie, but
He
who
can't even.
says?
He's not a good pass block either.
I mean, those things can be learned though,
Yeah, I agree with you.
because
I understand you about patience. You about patience right now, and
yeah, because
and
look,
Ron is
because
not patient.
let's be real. Chris Thompson wasn't always a good pass block as well. You can't forget that when he first came in the league, he
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
always a
when he
good
first
pass blocker.
no, no.
Those things came along, and that's
By
why
you
Chris
mentioning
Thompson.
Chris Thompson, that's exactly what Gibson is to me. He's not.
I
He's
mean,
not a
yeah,
dog. He's not the dog. We need a lead cow back. That's what Daryl's trying to say. Yo, like, is we going to have a bell cow back, or it's still going to be, you get a certain amount of carries, you get a certain amount of carries, you get a certain amount of carries. It's going to be
but
committee.
to answer that question is, to be honest, it really depends on what coach is actually coaching, because there are.
Talk about what you mean by that.
So what I mean by that is there are other coaches in the NFL right now that is running the running back committee. You see Nagy. Before the injuries has came through with this running backs. He still had David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. He had that running back committee, and then you had San Fran. Before they shipped Tevin Coleman off and before the injuries of Mostert, they had that three running back committee, and now you have the Lions. With the addition of Adrian Peterson, they have that three running back committee that's actually been doing very well. But like I
That's
said,
because they
you
have
know,
a scheme, bruh.
I mean, sure,
All those teams you named, they
sure,
have a scheme. The teams you're naming right now, I know what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. When it comes to us and Scott's play calling, it's like, dog, what is this? What is he
you're
doing?
absolutely right, and I totally agree with that. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
Chris Cooley went on him on the film breakdown joint. Chris Cooley was going on him. He was like, dude,
Um,
it didn't seem like he even tried.
and me, I can't say this enough because I don't want to sound like I'm a Chris Cooley
It's
hater, but you know I
oh
like
no,
Chris.
you
I
fine,
like
bro.
I like Chris Cooley game breakdowns to an extent, but sometimes it just seems like where with Chris Cooley it's like I see where you're going, but sometimes it's that's just not what I see, and he's far more experienced, so I can't say that he's wrong, but
He be over
there
exaggerating certain stuff. I
yeah,
know exactly what you mean, bro.
and it's just like some things are just a little bit, over exaggerated, but like I do agree on the extent where, Scott Turner play calling needs to get better, as far as the game situation. So yeah, that's a great question. They're not really sure who would be the lead running back, whether we go out for Le'Veon Bell or what. Like I said, It's just all about, if Ron Rivera really wants to win, he goes out and go get Le'Veon Bell and another offensive lineman. But for me right now, it's just like he's still trying to see what the players he got has to offer. I mean, right now it's week 6,
Let me
so I
ask you a
mean,
question.
hmm
If you or and the fans as well, I like to get a response from this. Due to what's going on, if you're a defensive coordinator and you got to play us, what is your main purpose of beating us? What would you do?
check downs,
No, I'm saying if you're a defensive coordinator,
yeah,
what would you take away from us?
check downs,
Wrong answer.
minimize the field.
Wrong. I
That's
mean,
I
those are good
mean,
answers, but that's not the key.
what's the key?
If me personally, if I'm a defensive coordinator,
Yeah, you blitz.
I'm taking away Terry McLaurin. And then who else? I just tell rest of my guys, y'all take him out the game. Everybody else stay and figure it out. We don't have another weapon, dog. We don't
Yeah, I
scare
would.
nobody.
Yeah,
No nothing.
I would say mainly just crash the O line, like Daryl said, just crash the O line. That I mean, that's just, it doesn't take rocket science to see that. But Steve had another question. It says, "How would it feel to lose to the Giants?" Look, let me tell you something. This we can lose. If we can lose every other game, right? We can lose any other game. One thing that I would not tolerate is losing a division game, because those division
Hey,
games.
Steve got me laughing because you wanna know what's so crazy? This can be the Giants. This could be the Giants breakout game. It's
Yeah,
always us, bruh. It's
it's
always
always
us.
us. You know what? And even last year, their first game when they actually needed a win, and it's like they won, and this just gave them like the extra confidence boost, and I was like,
Now let me ask Steve the reverse question: how would it feel if we come down there and just kick y'all butt though? And
yeah,
oh man, that's
that's
gonna be
that's
some
that's
that's gonna
the
be some serious heat going on in New York. Then
yeah.
that would be a good
So
question.
so yeah, that's actually another question, Steve. What if? Just what if? Just what if? What if you guys just lose, and not just lose the game? What if you guys lose? Let's just say by 24 points.
Man,
Let's
Steve
just
will
say,
lose his mind, man.
just let's just say, let's just say Terry McLaurin has 2 touchdowns, for 100 plus yards, and Antonio Gibson got 100 plus yards rushing with a touchdown. Let's just say, and we got 3 interceptions. We just smashed the ball down your throat. But Daryl said this is the type of game that the Giants win and then go to the Super Bowl. You know what?
Hey, go ahead, son.
You
Don't
know
do us
what?
like that,
I
man.
mean, no, because you like there was a time, I forgot what actually season it was, where the Giants started off real bad in the beginning of the season, and then they went on and went to the Super Bowl. It was crazy.
Come on,
It was
now let's
crazy.
be. Yeah, that was crazy back then, but they had some dogs on that D line back then. They just woke up, and then they had Brandon Jacobs too. Yeah, and he was a dog back then too. This is a different scenario. No Saquon Barkley, the Giants is done. I mean, like I said, Ingram is okay. He was okay, but the dude, what's his name, Slayton? He's a dog. On that outside, everybody think it's Shepard. It ain't Shepard to me. Slayton is a
We
dog.
I'll
He
take
said,
my
"I take
number
my number pick."
in the side of curly fries. Thank you, drive.
He tried to get the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Yeah, this the Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence sweepstakes game.
and to end it there, you know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna say this. A lot of fans want us to tank and get Trevor Lawrence.
Nah, don't do that.
Washington fans, listen here, all right, and I can't stress this enough. Okay, this is the time now to say that okay, we have the defensive lineman. We didn't drafted our whole defensive line. We didn't did that. We did a good job at that. But now, I mean, we kind of did. We got Matt Ioannidis. We got Jonathan Allen. We got Montez Sweat. We got Chase Young.
Jonathan, okay. I'm about to say Deron Payne. I don't know.
We
Yeah, I
got.
feel
I
like
mean, look, listen.
nah. Yeah, we could
Hold
have
on,
had James instead of him. We could have had Derwin James.
I mean,
No, there's no. I mean, Derwin James
so
is
so are you
all
saying? So
pro.
are you? So
He's
you
all
saying?
pro.
Are you saying Deron Payne isn't the guy though? Because
He all right.
if you ask me, Deron Payne is a dog down there, and
Jonathan Allen is.
I mean, yeah, that whole defensive line right there is just crazy. You
Bruh,
know,
it's
so but
Matt Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen.
you cannot not have Deron Payne in that conversation.
Deron Payne is like the third or fourth best D lineman to
No,
be on
because
our jump.
see here's
I'm
the thing.
sorry, bruh.
You said what?
He's like the third. He's like the third or fourth best D lineman on the front seven
Well
that
the
I
thing
like.
is,
He ain't the
I think
best.
when Deron Payne is in the game, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Matt Ioannidis benefits off his disruption. And I think that be the main focus with these defensive tackles. Um, you know, um, and he's never healthy, like Steve said. So but Payne is a beast, man, and when he's fully healthy, he causes a major disruption. On that towards the offensive line. Doesn't
Okay,
really matter who it is.
let me stop you there though. And the fans, Daryl, everybody respond to this. Who has the better career right now, Derwin James or Deron Payne?
Well, Derwin James
Both of
also
these
injured.
players, yeah, he's injured now. Dog, this
Yeah,
dude was an all-pro safety. He would have solved our safety problem, son.
I
We
mean,
still
sure.
hurting that safety.
I mean, sure, but
He's an impact player, dog. Deron Payne is not an impact player.
he has been last season. He's been very impactful. I'm not sure. I'm
He
not
had a
sure
he
what.
had a couple. I give it. He had a
Look,
couple of good solid games,
he's
dog.
been impactful. Here's what I'm trying to here's what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, Deron Payne is not your average, get a sack every game guy, but
No,
he's the
no.
guy that opens that door up for Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Matt Ioannidis, and that's what makes him great. That's what makes him good there.
I
That's what
see
makes him
Jonathan.
good.
When you look at the trenches, you
You want
see
to know?
Jonathan Allen is
You want to
is
know who
is
Payne remind me
dogging.
of? You want to
Who?
know who Payne remind me of? Meatloaf, the Broncos ex defensive tackle. Yeah, yeah, that's what he reminds me of right now. That's what he reminds me of right now. You know, that's
See,
that's that's what it reminds me of right now.
respect, respect, respect.
And he even reminds me of Chris Baker. You know,
Chris Baker was way more of a dog than him.
yeah, but I mean, Payne is still
Chris
young.
Baker was way more
Payne
of
is
a
still
dog
young.
than him.
Payne is still young, but Swaggy was the
We're gonna
man.
have to. So let me ask you a question. You think he's worth us keeping
Hmm?
Payne? You think Payne's worth keeping?
Yes, it gives a depth. It
Okay,
gives us
no
depth
problem.
with which we have a problem, which we have an issue with. We're injury prone, so we have Payne. He's there. Not a lot. Not to also mention, we also have Tim Settle.
I
He's
like Tim
also
Settle.
yeah
He's
yeah.
a
You know what I'm
dog.
saying? So like those guys that we have on the defensive line, it's just they're all competitive. You know what I'm saying? And we need to just now address the offensive line, and that's just
Draft offensive line, draft a tight end, get another receiver. That we whoever the quarterback is going to be for the future, dog. That offense needs to be pre-set up. I'm sorry, we got to go to Indianapolis, Coach Way, bro. We got to start driving some linemen in the first round. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then in the free agency, try to really get some big top dogs over here. We need
I
help.
agree. I agree. I definitely agree. Well, guys, this is all the time that we have for you today. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have been awesome with interacting with us, answering in the comments and things like that. It's been great. Again, you guys can catch us every week Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube. You guys have any questions that you guys want to ask us throughout the week? Feel free to go on our Facebook page at the HOGside or on Twitter as well. Also at the HOGside to also answer any questions, and that question will be answered and addressed the following week on the new episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is CJ the Hog, and this is Brian, the DMV champ. See you guys next time, and you
And be
guys have a good night.
safe.
Be safe, guys. Be safe.
All right.